want the truth, you go to the source. Last week I spent almost 2 hours with the director of solid waste. I asked him, is Commissioner Santa Maria correct when he says he saved us $60 million on a landfill site that we don't need? He shook his head and said, no. We're going to need another site. All we did was delay it. And if we have a hurricane that comes in along the lines of Andrew or something like that, it's going to take our landfill capacity of the next 20 years. So we really haven't saved anything because we really haven't planned for the future. For him to come around and say that we don't need it, we saved it, just watch your tax bills as they go up also. And by the way, if you don't know it, the county commission is the governing board of solid waste. So every time it costs more money to pick up your garbage, thank Commissioner Santa Maria.
All right. Next question. At the present, do you have a documented plan to stop foreclosure madness?
You have to create jobs, J-O-B-S. You have to get people back to work. How do you do that? Well, as a county commissioner, you can have tax incentives, you can have a recruitment team, you can be bringing business in here. Our commissioner voted down the Medical Arts Center in Wellington. Over the next 10 years, 4,000 to 6,000 jobs. He said no. The county commissioner overruled him and voted against him, and it was approved. We ran for this office in '06. We all promised there would be an inland port in this area. Where is it? Your commissioner voted no. A fact. That would have created jobs. People would have been able to stay in their houses, and the foreclosure rate would have went down. Thank you.
Jobs. You have 40%, 42% unemployment here in the Glades. We need jobs. When you look at the two gentlemen who are behind me talking about jobs, which I happen to agree with, we need jobs, 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 we need jobs. Which one of the two of them is still hungry? Which one of the two of them can relate to each one of you? Which one of the two of them is a small business owner? You have one gentleman behind me who talks about everything he's done 30 years. He throws money around like we pass out candy on Halloween. The other gentleman is somebody who's lived off of the government pension with job security. He's had job tenure. He's been part of a union who fights for people to have jobs. People who shouldn't have jobs out here, we all read the paper, and he has not had the need to go out there and put his neck on the line every single day with other small business owners. I'm the man who can create the jobs. I am the man who supplied nearly 450 businesses across this U.S. in the last 16 years with money for their jobs.
Yeah, the way to cut down on foreclosures is already ongoing now. It's negotiating with the banks, negotiating with the lenders on the terms of the loans. And I have been advising my constituents that I come across who have problems with foreclosures. And I've been able to assist them personally on a case-by-case basis by negotiating with the lenders. And that's an ongoing situation right now. There are a lot of programs now to negotiate the loans and cut down the dollar amount of the loan and cut down the interest rates. That's the way I know how to cut down on foreclosures, is work through the lending institutions.
Commissioner, that was the last question. You now get your 2 minutes for closing, but you go first.
Yeah, once again I say talk is cheap. The reason that the Palm Beach Post endorsed me in the recent election is because very simply they said Santa Maria keeps his promises. How many elected officials do you know who tell you one thing before they get elected and then do something different? different during their term. I kept my promises. I told you I was talking about accomplishments. You have just had $4 million for the Belle Glade Marina and Torrey Island. You're going to see further improvements, and that area will become a tourist resort. I'm now in the process of coordinating the Belle Glade Marina together with the Pahokee Marina and the South Bay Marina projects into a major resort. And that's going to create the jobs, real jobs for this community. The inland port, I told you I didn't care where the inland port was going to be done as long as it was in the Glades. I warned you that Okilanta was not the right place. I agreed to consider it, but it was the wrong place, and we wasted 18 months of time. Now finally, after Tallahassee turned down the Okilanta project, now it's in the right place. Now you will have an inland port. $400,000 in improvements at Airport Park. Another $400,000 in South Bay for paving. And I saved by guaranteeing any over costs in the paving of the roads in South Bay. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional funding for Crossford Depot Community Center. Hundreds of thousands for Pahokee. On and on. I would need the entire night to show you all the projects that were accomplished in the Glades over the last 4 years.
In a forum that we did in Royal Palm Beach for the primary, our commissioner brought up those same points. When Michael Jackson got a chance to speak, he told the truth. He accomplished all those points by what he did out here. Not the commissioner, Michael Jackson. You know, we just opened up a new county golf course in Boca Raton. In every intersection in Boca Raton is a golf course. Why hasn't our county commissioner helped the Glades area with your golf course? It's not a priority. They didn't. I'd like to talk about my endorsements. I'm endorsed by the PBA. I'm endorsed by the FOP. I'm endorsed by current and former county commissioners. I'm endorsed by sheriffs, former sheriffs. Can I speak? Is it okay? Okay, thank you. We should all be courteous. On my education, I'm the only candidate with a master's in public administration. I worked hard for that education. Mr. Schaller thinks that that wasn't a good thing for me to do, driving up and down 95 going to Barry University. But I disagree with him. We need to have someone in this office that is highly educated, highly experienced. You know where I've been the last 35 years? Working for you as a public servant is exactly what I'm going to do in the next 4 years as a Palm Beach County Commissioner. I thank you for inviting me, and Godspeed.
Talk is cheap. Which one of you out here has ever sat in Commissioner Santa Maria's office in the last 4 years out here in the Glades and had a conversation with him? There's one lady. There you go. I don't find anything wrong with John trying to better his education. I respect John. I respect the police officers. I respect anybody who puts their life on the line. If they have a bad day, they don't come home. I have a bad day, I lost some money at work. The reason John's mentioning that is for the last 2.5 years, I've sat in the county commission hours and hours and hours, so much so, as a spectator, as a participant, as an applicant, as anything else I could possibly do. And it got down to, oh, we're just down to Mr. Schaller again. I'm the only one sitting there. Well, that's where you get an education. I don't know how many days on the job John has spent with his master's in public administration. I think it's great. Show me a paycheck for it. You can't learn when you're sitting on the highway. You learn when you're sitting amongst people and you feel their pain as they come up and they talk and they beg and they plead, unfortunately, to the people who are supposed to represent them. That's not me. I'm running for the office that I turn to for help. I know I can make a difference because I've sat there and I've watched our current commissioner drop the ball on issue after issue after issue and protect his own financial interests and not care about your social or financial interest anywhere near as much as he cares about his own. Please vote for me, Andy Schaller, November 2nd. I am the best man for the job and I can prove it with your help. Thank you.
Thank you, and wish we had done you guys laugh. This is the most exciting thing we've had happen.